So start with our dashboard. For a logged in user, we want to create a dashboard. For them, we need to first of all come here and then create something else, which is going to be a nested component. So it's going to be a parent component that has children. So that's children. Those children are going to be the elements inside our dashboard or the pages inside our dashboard. So how do we do that? Let's go back here. Just like we did for this one, I'm going to say paths, and this part is going to be slash dashboard. No, it's actually our dashboard, and it's going to take an element. What element is that? For this case now, we're just going to simply say a simple div. Just let's call it dashboard. I'm also going to take an error element, just like the previous one, and I'm just going to say error page, just like I said, error page 2. I have to add comma here, comma. Now, one other thing is going to take, since it's a nested uh, page or a nested element, we are going to say children. It's going to take children. I have to add comma here. I keep forgetting to do that. Say children, and this children is going to be an array of objects of different parts again, just like this one here. Are going to be an array of objects. So the first one is going to be part, and the part is just going to be slash, which simply means the index of this dashboard. So when I say slash dashboard, it's going to render this element here. Now you wonder how is it going to render? What about the elements here that we have added? Now this element here is just going to be like a layout where these children will render inside. So if you know that in a dashboard, most of the time you have your navigation links here, then you have your elements here. So if I click on home, then the dashboard changes to home. If I click on what should I call it? Any other thing takes me there. So let me just show you from here instead of talking. If you go to it's crashing, let's go to the live application. Let me log in. So if I log in, I want to show you what I'm saying because we are done with this part. If I click on login, right. So I'm logged in now in the live application. So now this is what we are trying to build. Now this element here, this part is that where is it? Let me go back. Is this element here, this one, whatever we are going to pass here, is that this part here that we are going to build like this. So if I click on add recipes, it takes me there. If I click on my recipes, oh, this one is fetching, so it's taking time. It takes me there. Now this particular, all this part now that shows like this, all these things here, all these sites, they are the different children that we are going to pass here. But we are going to actually create this ourselves. So it's not like it just comes that way. We're going to create it ourselves. All right, so let's go back to our application that we're building. We have an error, but don't worry about it. We'll fix it. It's just coming from these things here. So the element, what element do we want to render? And we're going to call that element home. We will import it soon. And well, I'm not going to pass an error element. It's going to bubble up to this one. So if an error occurs, you're just coming back to bubble up to this one. So with this being said now, let's start with the home page. So I'm going to go to my source and I need to create a folder. If I go to source and I go to pages, I already have one there. Click on pages, right click and create a folder called dashboard. So everything in my dashboard will be here. So first of all, I'm going to right click and create a file called home.tsx. And I'm just going to come here and say export const home. And it's going to return, well, I'm just going to return null for now. Return null. And obviously, I'm going to create an index here, index.ts in my dashboard, and I export my home component from there. Export home. That is that. So now I go back to app.js, tsx, and I import home from my dot slash pages slash dashboard. Now I have home. So now if I go back to our application and I were to log in, do we have an error? Why is it not showing? Oh, okay, we don't have this one now. Let's go back. I want to see. Is our server running? Let's find out. Our application is running. What could be wrong? I can't see what is wrong. Let me take a look at the console. So what is wrong? Absolute pass slash nested on upper is not valid. Oh, okay. So I guess then we have to say that this is dashboard. But why is the error not showing in my browser? Why is it hidden? So if I didn't go check there, I won't see it. I think this is something that the VIT team need to look into. Why is it that the error doesn't show in the UI? It just shows me a blank page. Okay, so now when I say dashboard, and this one also is dashboard, then I guess they just match it. Since it's slash dashboard, then it simply means that it's going to render the home page for me. And also, I have this my dashboard here. So let me see what I'm going to see. So let's go back. Oh, okay, we now have this. We need to log in now. Let's log in, test gmail.com and my password. I hit login and it logs me in and it simply sends me and I see dashboard, which is this one here. Remember my home component returns null. So let me return something actually. Let me return h2 that says home. Let me see what happens. And let's see, let's go back. It's not showing. Now, why is it not showing? It's a child. Why is it not showing? Now, there is a reason why it's not showing, and that is we have to do something. We have to configure this for it to show. Where is it? We have to set up this page and add something called outlet in React Router DOM or React Router for it to show. So that outlet will be where these children will show. So before we do that, let's quickly create a real dashboard component layout instead of this dashboard we wrote here. So let's go back outside of the pages inside the source. I'm going to right click on new folder. Let's call it layouts. So you might have more than one layout. So I'm going to say layouts. And then right here, I'm just going to say we have a dashboard. Now I know very well dashboard.tsx is our layout. Okay, our dashboard layout, I mean. So we're going to say export const dashboard layout, which is equals to, now you will see for now it's going to return null. And then let's just go in and use it in our app.tsx. So I'm going to say that the elements for you to render is, okay, let me also create an index here in the layout side, index.ts. Suppose that you have many other layouts. So I want to export dashboard layout. Let's come back here. Let's say maybe dashboard layout. So that is that, and I have to put my comma. So let's move back to the dashboard layout. First of all, let's create the routes. What are the routes that we're going to have in a dashboard layout? So I'm going to have routes. So I created an array of objects, just like I did for the navbar. I love doing it this way. It's very, very easy for me to change. So we have the name, and it's going to slash dashboard. We have another name called add recipe that is going to slash dashboard slash add recipe. We have another name called my recipes that is going to slash dashboard slash my recipes. The only thing we are going to have that we don't have here is the logout button. If we go to the actual application, we have this logout, but the logout button does not go anywhere. Let's go back to our application, so we don't need that. Now, what do we want to do here? First of all, let's import from our context. Let's import the on logout. So if you log out, don't know if that's the correct spelling that we used. And then what else? Loading. I think that's what we need. Is it like this that we spell it? Loading. So I'm going to put that from use context. We're using the context authentication context. And remember we have to say as, let me close this up, as auth underscore type. So that we are passing in a type. I think this is not correctly spelled. It should be on logout, I guess. Yeah, now it's correctly spelled. Okay. Yeah, so we have this. Now, one other thing we need to do is let's make sure that somebody who is not logged in does not get access to this page. So it's kind of like a protected route for us. It's a protected route. So if you are logged in, you can access it. If you're not logged in, you cannot come here. So we're going to do a very simple protected route. I'm not going to go and create a folder like we usually do in React, create another a higher order component that you now pass this component inside. I'm going to do it right here. So this dashboard is going to serve as a higher order component that is now checking if there is the person accessing this page is authenticated before it gives you access to the children that is here. So I'm going to use use layout effect from React. And what do I want to do? And I'm going to run it once the page runs. And I just want to check if no, if you don't have session storage, dot get item. Remember those items we stored when you log in. We stored your email, and we say if you don't have email, and so you are checking the both of them. If both of them is true, then it's true. If any of them is false, then it's false. We don't care. So and then if you don't have session storage dot get item, I think we have token. Yeah, token. So if you don't have these two items, then you are not logged in. So what do we want to do? Let's get the navigate, use navigate from real router DOM. So we're going to say const navigate is equals to use navigate, and it's coming from React router DOM. Use navigate. We use it to navigate our client side without refreshing the page. So this is going to make sure that we don't refresh the page. We can use the window or location or HR to do this, but that's going to refresh. But we don't want to refresh the page yet. So what do we want to do? We get this now, and then if you do not have your email, you don't have a token, then we simply say navigate, which is we are sending you to /, which is the index page. Navigate to our login page. That's our whether landing page or login page, anyone you choose to call it. So that is what we are doing here, and we are going immediately the page load, we check, and then if not, we send you back. If you don't have that, we send you back. Besides that, what else do we want to do? Let's go back here, and so first of all, let's return div. So this div has a class of width of full, height of full, a background color of black, and overflow of X hidden, which simply means overflow horizontal should be hidden. So we don't want horizontal scroll. We don't want that. Now, once I save that and I go back here, you see we just have a black page, a black page. But before we keep going on, what do we actually want to do? Let's go take a look at the finished product. We want to create this. We want to have this from this top to this side here, and I want to have this sidebar like this, and I want to have this particular side render our elements. So we have the sidebar, and then we have this from the top to this side. Probably supposed to be navigation, but we have a side navigation in this case. But we just want to have this here. We don't want this particular side taking up the whole thing. So that means that we are going to share this screen into not have our elements that we want to present, the children, takes up the larger space, but want this one, the sidebar, to take up an amount of space that is enough for us, and also the top. So let's get to that. Let's go deal with that. So first of all, we go back here. We have another div here. So can I expand this? No. Let me decrease a bit. Yeah. I hope you'll be able to see this. Now we have a div that has a height of 60 pixels for small screen and a medium height of 80 pixels. So that is, if I go back now, that is this. It has a height of 60 pixels on a small screen and the height of 80 pixels on large screen. So which is this that you see here. So that is what we have now. And it has a background of BG that's zinc of 800. So if I were to go back now, okay, it's 900 actually. And then we have display flex, align item of center, justify context space between, padding left and right of 3. Want it to sticky, position sticky. That's what this sticky means. Position sticky. So we don't want it to scroll all the way. We want it to like stick there. Don't go anywhere. And then we say that the top is 0. Once you get to 0, stop. Be stuck. Be stuck there. Don't go anywhere again. And then we have a Z index of 50. Z index of 50. So right now inside here now, I want to have some elements inside here. So if you look at what we have here, we have this foodie, just like we had in our homepage, just different color. Now right here inside this div, I now have a div that has a flex, class of flex, items is centered, and I have a h2 that has a navlink. Now where is navlink coming from? Navlink is coming from React router DOM. It's still another way for us to navigate without having to refresh our page. So this is going to navigate to /dashboard. So what we mean is if we are somewhere else, for example, if we go to the finished product, if I am in my add recipes and I click on this foodie, it's going to take me back to home page. So that is what we want to do. And it didn't have to refresh the page. So that is what we want to achieve with this. So once we go to navlink, to is like href, it's like anchor element, a tag, then you say href, where should we go to? So we say /dashboard, and then what text do we have between it? Foodie, and then we have a span that has a text of orange, that's 700, font weight of extra bold, font size of extra large, and the padding left is shifting to the left of 2, and then it just has a period. So if I save now and we take a look at what we now have foodie like this. So if you click on it, it takes you to, we're already in the home page. Like when I say home page, I mean home page for the dashboard, not home page for the general application. All right, so we now have this. What we now need to look at is separate dividing the screen. So we need to give a little sign here. Then all the space on the left is for our children. Then all the space on the right is for our dashboard layout to have. So this space here on the left is where we are going to have the outlet from React to Rotterdam. That's where we render our children. So let's go back. So going outside of this particular div here, this whole div. So let me comment this whole div, going outside there, I'm going to go out here and then I create another div. Now this div has a flex of display flex column. I'm kind of still explaining the CSS, the tailwind CSS classes, but yeah, it's fine. Let me just do that too. And I'm saying that on medium screen from 768 pixels, I want the flex direction to be row. So in a mobile screen, I want it to be flex direction columns vertically stacked. On the last screen, I want them to be horizontally, and I'm saying take up the whole width with 100%, height 100%. Z index is 10. Remember the other one has an index of 50, so it's going to be this. When we scroll on this, they are going to go past it, and then it's position relative. So now I'm going to have two div. One div is going to be the other half, and the other div is going to be the other half. So this is the first div. It's going to contain the first half. Then this is the second div, which is going to contain the other half. So this div now is going to be hidden on mobile. So that's why we have a hidden here. So like display none on the mobile screen. Then from medium, from like tablet upwards, we want to say display block. And the background is that zinc 900. Height is full, width is 20%. So we want to take up 20% of the whole 100%. And the position is fixed. So we don't want you to be able to move it, and it's going to be like that. Then for this second one, which is where our outlet we not outlet, the what's it called? The links on our page, the links that were on this side. Where is it? These links here, these ones here, we are going to have them be display flex duration is column, so we want them to stack top of each other. Then gap top and bottom is 1, margin top is 3. So that is that for this one. Okay, so now once we have that, we then have a div that has a display of flex on a large screen, medium screen, gap of 8 items, align item start, width of full, padding top left, bottom right of 3. And we have an image. Now I just grabbed a random image from unsplash.com, so you can just go to unsplash.com and grab an image. Let's say man, just type man, and then you see a lot of images. Click on it, and then just come here, right click, copy image address, and then you use that. So I just grabbed an image from unsplash.com and put it as source here, and it has a class name, it has a height of 16, width of 16, object that fit, which is cover, and then I want it to be rounded, so I give it a border radius of full, which is tailwind is saying is 9,999 pixels. Wow, that is huge. And then I have a simple div here that has a paragraph in it. Text of the paragraph of the color of orange. The text color is orange. Font weight is 300, which is font dash light. And I have a placeholder text here, which is john@gmail.com. And then if you take a look at what we have in the browser, you now see we have this image from unsplash.com, and then we have this text, which is john@gmail.com. So the next thing we need to now do is to render these links, the links here. Where is it? These links here. We need to render them here. So let's go back to the browser, to the VS Code here. Remember, I've already created an array of objects that I call routes actually. So we are going to use that to render our elements right here inside this particular div here. So right inside this div here, we are now looping through the route. Remember, the route comes with its name and to. So what we did here is routes.map, and then we are extracting the name and to properties here. Then we are passing in the nav link from React Rotterdam. So we are saying that the key, remember in React, you have to pass a key for you to be able to identify the individual element. And we say to, which is where it is going to. Now we have a class name. Nav link gives us what we call the is active. It gives somebody what we call the is active property, which tells us if the link is the current link. But then now we now need to use something called path name, so which also tells us which part, like what if we go to, let me go back here. So if you take out this part here is our part name. Which parts are we on? So it tells us that, and we are using it to make sure that if we are on this, because all of these routes have slash dashboard slash something apart from the home page. So if we just say is active, every one of them is going to be active at the same time, starting with is that slash dashboard. So we needed to add this path name here to check to make sure that okay, it is actually correct. So let's say I go back. Where do we get that is path name from? Let's go back here. Let's say const. This time around, we're going to say path name is equals to use params from use params exported from React Router DOM. We are going to call it, and at the same time, we're going to say dot path name. Immediately, we just call dot path name. Yeah. So sometimes you want to define it, then later get path name, but I just want to do it straight up from here. So that gives me the path name of the what's it called, where we are. So I'm going to show you like it's an example of what that means. Then we have a button component. Let me import that. We are using a button here. Remember our button components. The title is logout, and then handle click is logout. Then we pass in a styling for our button. Remember we have this class name where you pass your styles that you want for the button. Now, why is the handle logout throwing an error? Let me see. Is it not defined? Cannot find name handle logout. Did we not spell our hand? Okay, we didn't create any handle logout. So let's just call our on logout here. Yeah, let's just call our on logout here. On logout. I think this is better. Just call it straight. No need to create another function for that. All right, so we now have this. Let's take a look at what we have in the browser. Nothing is showing. Let me refresh. Nothing is still showing. Wow, what is wrong? Okay, it seems like our div, this one here, is actually not inside this div. The div that is taking a weight of 20%. So I believe if I remove this, let me see. Yeah. So we need to actually put all this inside here because it needs to be in the div that is taking 20% of the weight. So let's take it back. Let's copy everything here and let's go put it after the what's it called? After this one here. Yeah. So after this particular div, after this one, let's put this one. If I save now, we should see the link, I believe. So we see the links, and you can see as I hover on them, we get this. But let's add our image back. So let's uncomment that. Yeah. So I have uncommented it out. Now we have this. So it's kind of looking similar to this. Just one thing is wrong, which is we are not having an active state. Let me refresh, and then I'll go back to look at what might be wrong. What could be wrong? Why is our active not working? I think I made a mistake here. Instead of use params, it should be use location. Use params is, let's say you have something like in your route slash ID, slash ID or slash whatever dynamic stuff that you have. You use param to get that, not what I was trying to get. So I was trying to get use location. Yeah, it's use location. So when I called dot path name, what happened was that the use param was checking our routes, was checking this place if we have anything like that, like defined. So let's say if we go back to our home page, if we go back to the index app.css, we're looking for something like this. Let's say we have path name. Yeah, this is what it was looking for, but we don't have that. Obviously, it was an error for my part. So this should be use location, still from imported from React React Router DOM. So let me remove this. This should be use location. So I believe this should work now. Let's go back and take a look. Yeah, it works fine now. So it's use location. So now if I click on this, now this is not existing. So if I click on it, I'm going to get the error page. And then we have our logouts also here. The button, remember the button. Let me go back. That we added below this button here that we added. And then once you click on the button, it should log you out. And let's test the what's it called? Let's test the protected route that we did. So we know that this is the route to the dashboard. Let's log out. So if I click on logout, it should take me back. Now I'm here. I'm not going to log in. I'm going to just try to go to the dashboard directly from here. Let's see what happens. So I go there. It sends me back to the login page or landing page. So our protected route is working very, very fine. So you need to be logged in to go there. So let me try it again. It sends me back here immediately. So I need to log in. So let me log in again. Come, my password. I hit login, and boom, I'm logged in. So with this now, we have this part ready to go. What we now need to do is to have this element showing, this element here. So, but before we do that, sorry, what about our mobile screen? How does this look on a mobile screen? Let me inspect and let's take a look. Ooh, okay, on a mobile screen, we are actually hiding it. We set it to hidden. So what do we want to show? On a mobile screen, let me see how the finished product look on a mobile screen. So let's shrink this. So if you look at what we have on a mobile screen, we have a hamburger, a menu bar. When you click on it, then it pops up these items for you. And when you click on it, it closes that. So let's implement that for our own application. So let's go back here. Let's quickly install React icons, which we are going to use. So let's go to the terminal. I'm not going to key this server. Let's open up our terminal here by pressing Ctrl J. And let's just click here and go to, I'm using Git bash. You can just open your terminal. And let's run yarn add, let's yarn add react dash icons. I wanted to say react add done. So we're adding react icons, I guess. Yeah, it's done adding. And now we need to do that. So first of all, let's go back to this part of application that has the foodie and then the span. This is where we are going to now need to add the our toggling our menu bar. So after that, so let's see. Let me put the comment. Say menu bar. So let's add a menu bar. Our menu bar is going to use the toggling state. So let's quickly create a state. So let's call it is open. Set is open. And then use it. And it's just going to be of type boolean. And then it's going to initially be false. And we need to import the use state from React. So well, this. Let me just go up, go to React and import use state hook. State hook. Yeah. And then we also need to have a function that changes that. So let's say const handle is open. What it's simply going to do is it's just going to say set is open. So whatever the previous value is, we want to set it to the opposite of that previous value of is open. All right. So with that being said, now we can now add our menu bar here. So right here in the menu bar side, we are going to pass in our menu bar. So our menu bar is going to have is just going to be a div with a class name of text-white. So it's going to be white. And we're going to say for media screen, we want it to be hidden. We don't want it to be available. And then if it is open, you want to show this MD outline, which is coming from React icons /MD. And then we are going to say on click handle is open. And then just you know what we already did there. And then if it's not open, then you show FI menu and I'll click deal with this. So let's go and import these two things. Want to import this MD outline from MD outline close from React icons /MD. And also import FI menu from React icons /FI. So if you want to find out more, you can just go here and say React icons React icons.github.io/React icons/search. Then you can type in different things and try to find out, choose the one that you like from there. So this is one that we are using, FI menu here. All right, so going back to our application, you see now we now have this thing, and when we click on it, it changes to the X. Then we click on it again, it's just toggling that. So the next thing we need to do is for us to show those our items, just like this. Okay, this one is already open to desktop. So just like this one, when we click, just another one. When we click on it, it changes, and then let's deal with that next. So we have this one ready. So how do we deal with that? All right. So now going outside of this place that contains the whole items, our navigation link, and also going outside of the parents div. That is the let me go back here. Let me go back here. That is the div that contains all these things here. And these ones. Going outside there, let's go back to a small screen. Oh, we got an error. Well, we'll fix that. Okay, so we now have our is open. So this is only showing when the open is true. So is it open? Then we say we are just doing the opposite of what we did earlier on. So what we are doing this time around is that we are saying on a medium screen, we want it to be hidden, first of all. And then, just like in the other one, we said if it's on a mobile screen, be hidden. But here now we are saying the medium screen, be hidden. This everything here is just the same. We have the same image. The only thing we did here is that we said that we have a position of absolute here, and this is for mobile screen. We have a position of absolute, but for medium screen, we have a position of relative. And then we say that our flex is just the same thing for the image though. Is of gap. Let me remove this one. We don't need that. Our flex is of gap 8 items dash starts width of 100% padding top, bottom, left, and right of 3. And then we have an image and with the source again from unsplash.com. This time around we have a height of 10 and a width of 10 because we're on a small screen. And I didn't add any alt tag. Let's just say hook or user, whatever. And then we have a name, you know, the which is primarily the what do we call it again? The email address of the user. Then we go down again, like the whole thing is just the same. We now again loop through the routes and then the same thing I've explained before. So I don't want to waste our time explaining that again. Same thing for the button. We have done all this before. So if I save now and I go back here, when we now click, we now have this popping up. Yeah, if I click, it goes away. If I click, then it goes. I click, it goes away. If I click like this and I open, it just goes away, and then we have this one here. So with this now, we have our mobile, how our application looks on a mobile screen, and also how it's going to look on our desktop screen. Now, the next thing we need to do is to actually show the children of this application. So let's go, not application, to show the children of our parents or dashboard layout, whatever. So let's go back. And right outside of this here, before these two divs, we're now going to have our outlet. So outlet is going to be of class name from on a medium screen. We want it to have a width of 80%. Remember that the other one on a medium screen has a width of what's it called again? 20%. So we want this one to be 80%. Then we have a padding top, bottom, left of right and whatever 3. And in the medium screen, we want to have a padding left and right of 8. Still on the medium screen again, we want to have a padding um, top and bottom of 6. While this other padding here that is 3 is for mobile screen. They have a width of full, height of full, and then on medium screen again, you want to have a margin left of 16 rem. So we want to, we have 20% like this. They want to shift out. We want to bring out the whole thing from there. But on a small screen, we want to take up the whole thing or the whole space because the navigation or the sidebar is actually, we toggle it out and then it covers the whole thing. Then you click on it and then it goes away. So that is that. And then the outlet, which is the children, let's import that from React Rotterdam. So this outlet now that we have here is where this nested children here is going to show. So if I were to save now, this, what do we have here? We have home. We will now have home appear because of these outlets here. Those are the children. They will show here. So if I save now, I'm going to go take a look at the browser. And then now the home is not showing because of the color. So if I go change the, let me refresh this a bit. But if I go change the text color in the home, so let's go and say that the class name is of text dash white, which is text color of white. If I go check now, we now have the home. So you see the home showing. So now these are where all the children would display. So we now have this the dashboard layout ready for us to use.